Vanessa Warwick here from Property Tribes on behalf of the Property Investor Show 2010, and my next guest is Stuart Law from Assetz. So welcome, Stuart.
Hello.
Good to see you. Tell us a little bit about where Assetz is business-wise at the moment.
Yeah, well, things are buoyant for the investors out there still looking to take advantage of the current situation and acquire more investments for their portfolio at today's pricing, and particularly today's yields.
Very much so.
What we're specialising in is finding deals for people. In our speciality, it's finding opportunities that aren't sat there in the newspaper ads. The best deals aren't in the ads, they're under the counter, because generally speaking, people who are selling at special pricing don't want it to be publicly known. So we're in a good position to be able to negotiate those for our clients, and it's been very good for the last couple of years or so. We've been expanding quite quickly again.
Oh, that's very good to know. And is it mainly UK stock now, or have you still got some interest in overseas?
No, it went through a period of very intense focus on the UK, starting about 2 years ago, and that was because of the availability of just amazing opportunities at sort of 50% off previous pricing, or more importantly, should I say, at sort of 8, 9, 10% gross yields, which tells you where the value is. And so we were very intensely busy on the UK up until around the middle of last year. But from then onwards, we've seen some international markets take off as well. We've seen holiday home type investors return to France, which is one of the few countries in the world you can still get 100% mortgages in. We regularly get those for our clients every single week. America, Mid-America in particular. We've not been terribly active in Florida. We've been focusing more on family housing in Mid-America, and acquiring 3-bed, 4-bed refurbished houses on local government rental schemes, and getting well over 10% net yields. Net.
Fantastic.
And buying a whole house for £25,000, £30,000 sterling is an opportunity not to be missed. It won't be gone by tomorrow, but it won't be there in 5-10 years.
No, indeed. And I was going to say that I feel that there is a window of opportunity right now because of the whole world economic situations, and that serious investors need to be looking at these opportunities because they may not come along in our lifetime again.
Exactly, and people ask why and what's really going on, and aren't these the normal prices? But if you just take one step back and say, what's causing prices to be what they are? What's causing the lack of availability of finance? It's banks generally pulling back finance rather than giving it out. And so the private investors stepping in with their capital. And where there's the void, where there's the bank or the institution effectively creating a sale at a distressed price, an investor with cash happy to take the high yield is stepping in and taking that property and giving the bank the money. So the banks are trying to get cash in, one way or the other, directly or indirectly through their developers they've funded. And it's taking advantage of that. And that's our job. To help people connect those two dots.
And it's amazing how the industry is changing, because as you've just demonstrated, it's almost gone the other way, where private investors are now funding banks in some ways.
We shouldn't underestimate the effect that private investors are having in the global market. The amount of cash in private individuals' bank accounts, earning no interest at all globally, near enough, in most countries, is really what the governments are after. They're at the highest of levels, they know the banks aren't lending and are trying to pull back capital. And at the same time, if private investors don't invest, there won't be the capital to make the wheels keep turning. It's not just property where that's happening. But in return for that, to motivate people to invest, one way or the other, it's creating these incredible prices and incredible yields. I think what we've seen, the biggest thing that we've learned over the last 3 years is that the various ways of identifying a bubble or identifying property that was overpriced that were talked about, it's really allowed us to identify the one that matters. And it was always the most basic principle. Yield, true rental income, differentiates an investment from being a speculation.
Very much so.
And I think what we've seen is the markets that have seen the biggest price corrections, which most certainly wasn't the UK residential market, that's for sure, but we've seen it in places like Dubai and so on, were markets where the true supply-demand imbalance wasn't really there, and the demand for rental, never mind purchase, didn't underpin the prices.
Very much so.
And that's one of the reasons why the UK market has been so resilient, because the latent demand for housing is genuinely there. It was in question in the boom years, but I think that's been proven now to be, especially with the rents rising in the first 2 quarters of this year at fairly unprecedented rates. which we think is the beginning of a long-term rental boom. So this whole rents underpinning value argument that speculators ignored in the later years of the boom has been proven to be the most important measure. And if you look backwards, the countries with the biggest adjustments were those that didn't have the true rental and housing demand holding up the prices, and they've fully retracted.
That's something I totally subscribe to, and at the end of the day we're an island and nobody's making any more land.
Exactly
so that's going to hold it safe. But moving on to the Investor Show, you're a regular exhibitor at the Property Investor Show. What keeps you going back?
We find the quality of visitor to this show is exceptional. We can have really good conversations with people. Particularly over the last 2 years or so, we've seen the visitor come with bigger and bigger checkbooks, and not really too bothered about mortgages, because in their own words, they're generally looking for somewhere to put their money that earns a return. And what they're generally talking about is yield, rental income, net rental income, to prove that they've bought a real investment, and then in due course see some capital growth.
Excellent. And what advice would you give to people to get the best out of the show as an attendee? Do you recommend that they make appointments with the key people they want to see?
It would certainly help to make appointments, because
you're very busy.
the best suppliers are generally very busy on the stand.
Yeah.
It's not essential, but it helps. And just make sure you go. So many people in the world, not just property, but generally, think they know an awful lot, and often miss out on opportunities like a show like this to meet so many experts in one place. And even somebody who thinks they know it all ends up in a place like that, myself included sometimes, they're always astounded how much they learn once they actually put in the effort and go and have a look.
And what would be your ideal outcome from the show? Just have lots of great conversations and meet some new people? It
is, yeah. Our team's really looking forward to it. We want to see lots of new people. We generally do see a lot of new people, plus it's a chance to, many of our clients take to put a name to a face.
Indeed.
Face to a name, rather, and see who they've been talking to for a long time. We try and get around the country a lot to meet people, but there's so many people, you can't do it all the time. So this is one of those good opportunities to come and see us.
And are you involved in any of the seminars?
Yes, yeah, we're giving a number of talks on where to find best value and good yields. Where are the best investments? Not just where is it cheap, but where are you going to get good income, and where does that good income indicate that the price recovery will come in due course?
Fantastic. Well, all the best for Property Investor Show 2010. That's Stuart Law from Assetz, and details are on the screen now if you want to get in touch with Stuart and book an appointment with him prior to the show, which is recommended. So thank you, Stuart. Good luck at the show.
Okay, thank you.